Working on a 2000 Camry and going to replace the wheel bearings. The right side is howling pretty loudly. That's a sure sign of the wheel bearing, and this one's even a little bit loose, so it's gotten pretty bad. First step is to take off the hubcaps and break loose the axle nuts while the car's still on the ground. There's a special tool needed for this. It's a 30mm deep axle socket. These are typically very tight, so I'm going to use this as extra leverage. There we go. Just loosening it before I jack the car. So I have the wheels off and this is already loosened, so the next step is to take this nut off. This car has relatively new axles on it. You can see the boot, the back is relatively new. And the way these marks are on this axle nut, I suspect when the axles were replaced, somebody put this on with an impact wrench, and that's what ruined the wheel bearings. It's really important to torque, not impact this. I'm going to take the brake caliper off. Okay, now this. This is heavy. Okay, there it is. This is wedged in here, it's a taper. Do not beat on this part here, otherwise then this won't thread on easily. Hit right on the side and that'll jar it loose. Just like that. Okay, now these two bolts. These are tight. Okay. Don't put your finger in there to try and push that out. Use something like this. Okay. Now gently, and I mean gently, push that out. Okay. All right, now this last tapered bolt. getting some of this dirt out of here so I can see the cotter pin. There we go. Now I just need to get this nut off. Again, don't beat on this part, beat on the side. Trying to do this without hitting my hand like that is kind of dangerous. Could use a bigger hammer. Okay, that did it. There it is. The hub with the new wheel bearing in it. I had this pressed in at a machine shop. Don't even think about trying to do it yourself. They're really tight. No roughness, no noise. Perfect. Just tightening this up. Put this in here to hold it. So I need to tighten this up, put the pin in. I need to turn it a little more to line up the pin. And just put the pin in. Bend it over. Make sure it doesn't, you need enough clearance here so it doesn't hit the axle. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, now I'm going to put the axle in. Put your fingers around here. Okay, now the axle nut. I'll torque this once we have the car back on the ground and the wheel attached. We'll torque this. So I already started putting the nut on the tie rod end. Now I just need to tighten it a little and get the cotter pin through it. Remember, do not put your fingers in there. Okay,
Okay, that'll hold. That's more sturdy now. Let's finish this. Okay, it's snug now. I just need to line up the pin. Okay, a little teeny bit more. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm just separating these two parts of the cotter pin a little bit so this can't come out. Okay, that's good. I'm going back to tightening up these bolts. There's probably a torque specification on these, but I'm just going to make them tight. Okay, tight. Alright, now I'm holding this up here and just checking to make sure this sheet metal isn't hitting the rotor. I'm tightening these. There's probably a torque spec, but I'm just making them tight. Okay, now move these brake pads as close as possible, and this should slide right back over. Bolts, 2 bolts. Go back on. Down and the wheel lugs tightened. I'm just going to get this axle nut snug and then torque it. That's it, right there. Okay, the last step is to line up this cotter pin. Okay, that's it. Now it's just a matter of putting on the hubcap. We're finished.